For decades, Brisbane's retail spine, the renowned Queen Street Mall, was structured around an internalised retail offering. With shops enveloped within multi-storey shopping centres and arcades, customers required an acute local knowledge to hunt out key retail destinations. Property Fund Manager, ISPT, has been instrumental in turning the retail offering along this prime CBD location inside out. With a cluster of assets along the mall, including two key retail centres, Wintergarden and 170 Queen Street, formerly Broadway on the Mall, ISPT has helped to reshape the mall into a modern retail environment, offering an inviting retail proposition for customers that's there to be seen and experienced. Within its footprint, Wintergarden is home to a range of retail and leisure tenants, including the adjoining Hilton Hotel. One of the key design objectives was to simplify the retail layout, allowing for enhanced interconnectivity between the levels and throughout the building.
It was really about reimagining what the Wintergarden could be, making those linkages between its two long street frontages and providing a new canvas for our specialty retailers to operate in.
A good outcome of the centre was removing the existing ramps and stairs that excluded many of the existing community, and now with the easy ramps through and into the centre has welcomed the whole of the community and enhanced the existing natural thoroughfare through the centre down to the university.
A key challenge for the design and construct teams was to coordinate major refurbishment works whilst the centre continued to operate.
Sitting on top of the Wintergarden development is the Hilton Hotel, five-star hotel in the middle of the CBD on the Queen Street Mall. We're building under it, around it. They've got lots and lots of people in there, but that meant lots of challenges.
We had to work very closely with the Hilton Hotel because there was considerable demolition that was undertaken, and that caused a lot of noise and disruption and needed to be managed very closely.
The structural design for the new centre required some significant demolition of the existing slabs over 3 levels. In order to achieve that, we had to strengthen the existing columns, and then we were able to demolish the structure over 3 levels, about 45 metres from the entry back into the development.
We also have plans to do an office tower on the adjoining side of the region. So part of the columns that you see are able to take an office tower in the future.
Enabling the centre to continuously trade through the operation and allow the hotel to operate unencumbered through that period, while transforming a 1980s shopping centre into a 21st century retail experience for both tenants and customers, was one of the major achievements in this project.
Working in a live retail precinct creates a number of challenges. It took careful collaboration and planning to achieve the demolition and construction works in that live operating environment. Regular stakeholder engagement was key to the success.
We like to get people involved in the journey and get them to understand what the end game is. In the end, as long as we're communicating with those folk, they know what's going to happen in the end. So it's engaging with all your stakeholders.
Those who work on retail developments will understand that one of the few constants is change. So it was really important for us to work closely with ISPT and the other design and construct members to accommodate and adapt to those changing requirements.
The spectacular art facade transformed stainless steel and a clever lighting treatment into a 3D depiction of a winter's garden.
The focus on the aesthetic design was driven initially by maintaining all the existing buildings on the site, 30-year-old buildings and a collection of these buildings, and finding a device to meld these together, and it was in the form of a veil with a unique pattern that made up of a winter garden and unified these buildings.
Queen Street Mall is one of the most successful pedestrian malls in Australia. So the investment that ISPT have made into Wintergarden has only added to that great reputation.
On the opposite side of the mall is 170 Queen Street. Formerly Broadway on the Mall, this 1980s retail centre has been totally reimagined. The design by John Wardle Architects features a 4-level high atrium and easy access between the mall and Adelaide Street.
The brief was to move away from a traditional retail mall experience and create a more permeable and visually active experience on the Queen Street Mall with a maximised retail frontage. The Adelaide Street facade was designed to work within an existing heritage facade with an intimate feel related to the boutique retail experience.
The 16-metre high frontage provides a striking impact to attract customers into the space, an approach that attracted leading brands Uniqlo and H&M.
What we found was the flagship retailers wanted that frontage directly on the Queen Street Mall. That was best for their business. So the flexibility of our design and our approach really allowed us to respond to those needs.
The scheme draws generating lines and proportions from the adjacent heritage facade to define the geometry of the 10-metre high glazed facade required for H&M and the more structured punch window facade for Uniqlo.
Sustainability was a priority for ISPT. Achieving a 4-star Green Star Retail Design rating would require some clever design and structural manoeuvres.
We are a leading institution globally in terms of the GREBS ratings. And as a result, it was important to us that assets like 170 Queen Street were able to demonstrate through good design, repurposing of existing structure by clever use of energy and plant, that we were able to achieve the same sort of ratings that we've achieved in other markets and other jurisdictions.
ISPT's objectives for the project were to achieve a 4-star Green Star Retail Design and a 5-star NABERS Office Energy for the commercial office space. NDY were engaged for the sustainability services and achieved 52 credits on our round 1 submission, which represents best practice. One of the more significant initiatives was the reuse of the existing structure, which reduced the embodied energy of the project.
Building in any retail environment is a challenge. Building in the Queen Street Mall probably is at the pinnacle of those challenges. We have an environment where we have lots and lots of people all day, every day. We have a heritage building to the immediate south, which is the Brisbane Arcade. That's one of Brisbane's wonderful spaces, a great interior space from a retail position. So we had to be mindful of that and of the tenants in that space. On the other side, we also have a heritage building in Old National Bank. So we had to be mindful of that, and we're doing significant demolition works, and we couldn't endanger or damage the fabric of either of those buildings.
The key considerations for us was understanding the design intent of the project. We had to constantly understand the design requirements, interpreting the specifications and ISPT's requirements for the design. Selecting the right subcontractors for the project was a very key element for us.
There was significant demolition in this project to start with. Although we had an existing centre, we had to demolish a lot of it and bring it back to very much a base build.
It was an existing building that had to be adapted and changed in a structural way to form the project that we have here today. Some of those challenges revolved around the delivery of the project in a sequenced way, and that required 9 separable portions for different elements of the project.
Intelligent metering and building management systems ensure the centre operates both efficiently and reliably.
Client briefs was for resilient yet discrete services. So apart from the VAVs in the ceiling space, the bulk of the major plant is up on the roof, away from the retail spaces. That allows for ease of maintenance, future flexibility and minimal disruption to building operation.
The design of discretely integrated building services was key to attracting the flagship retailers to ensure that they had maximum flexibility with their fit-out objectives.
We've got a smart metering system for all building services for monitoring tenant usage and on billing, and the lighting side of it is predominantly LED lighting for energy efficiency.
We work closely with the NDY team to minimise the impact of the vertical services reticulation throughout all levels of the building. Services were strategically planned to flank the side boundaries away from the street frontages.
Together, Wintergarden and 170 Queen Street comprise more than 30,000 square metres of premium retail space, purposefully designed to attract customers and accommodate the needs of leading retail brands and tenants.
Both retail centres in many respects go hand in hand. The Wintergarden offers its retail, entertainment and food options, with the Broadway providing further retail outlets as well as the flagship H&M and Uniqlo brands.
The net result of our CBD retail strategy, that is to say the Wintergarden, our new project at 155 Queen Street with Zara, the new 170 Queen Street, and the Queen Street Mall refurbishment which we undertook, which allowed us to open up the sight lines between all of these assets. The response from the Brisbane public in terms of shopping to the new retailers has been excellent.
There's a tangible vibrancy that one feels from a well-designed retail centre, an experience that engages all the senses and one that's impossible to achieve with online shopping. Wintergarden and 170 Queen Street embody this vividness of bricks and mortar retail to successfully showcase the union of commerce, community and couture